Hello, yeah, this is a conversation between my favorite girl, Efia Gold, and Reverend Sia of Apae Life. Yeah, there were discussion about the E-Levy. So I'm trying to break it down for those who do not understand the account language and see if you could decipher and really take into consideration what the government is trying to do. So let's listen in and see what his objections and preferences are.
Meeting the Reverend Apae Life. Kakra me pesa me kan say na ye nkofo mu ho kyiri wo mu pa. Obu a me kan wanya adwuma. Obu a me kan bia na adwuma o ye no kran hye da nkoyi. Obi na ahye da ama ni sika na opese ono nso ontimi nko bank. Emfa sa sika fia no enkoto bank ntino kakra bi obenya bia no na ode ato ne mobile money so. So ntino me hu no say we are sabe a come de yen a yemfa yensa left and right nyina enedi oman taxes bebre ena omoje yen na moje sa taxi we nyina na se taxi ni nyina ensumudi na kakra na obi di ohia ni bi so mo ana mo mamuo no mo kire se mo ba manhiafo na oba manhiafo na afa die ohia ni bi sika kakra wasade akoto ni mobile money so say bete de hode chasa menshada no mo nyaaje abi eniema bi nhyɛ dem twayi kura because minimum say awrade ne pagya nipa na monsie obu ha abrabo a wɔbɔ no na ni da so asa oni ni da so obibia mu ntino ade bia wo bia no ɔyɛ ne kakra sɛ bi ɔno nso betimi de ahwɛ ne fie ne nabusua nyina asa kakra no kura wo no pɛ sɛ ɔfa kwan bi so saagye de a ɛhɔ no de nhyɛ dem twayi.
Yeah, the Reverend spoke about taxing a lot of Ghanaians and what is the government doing with the money that they receive from all these taxes. Well, let's see if a lot of Ghanaians do get taxed, because what I know is that less than 2 million Ghanaians pay tax. So in reality, it's about 1.5 million out of 6 million eligible Ghanaians that paid their tax. 6 million, that is 6 million formal workers pay taxes. So if Ghanaian workers are formal and informal is 18 million people, that means that it's just under 3% that pay tax to the government. So 1.5 million out of the 6 million eligible Ghanaian taxpayers pay tax. So Ghana is basically one of the lowest tax-paying companies in Africa. Tax-paying countries in Africa. So Ghana have a lot to do to meet the sub-Saharan average of 17%, which is above the national 13% mark, for the government. So the fact that the government is trying to accumulate money to sort out these projects does not mean that they're taxing everybody or too many people. There's not too many people paying in tax in Ghana in the first place. So the government is trying to open up its tax bracket by creating digitalization, which means that it will bring the informal workers in line with the formal workers, so that the government will be able to reach more taxpayers who dodge under the tax-paying schemes. Now, as for the E-Levy, you just don't put money into your Momo account and then you get taxed. So that one works. So the E-Levy works as the only person that gets taxed or a tax measure is the originator, the person that sends the money, not the receiver. So if you send in money from your account to your mother or father in the village, you do not get taxed. They don't get taxed, and it depends on how much. If it's below 100 cedis, they don't get taxed for it. So the value of E-Levy is 1.75 of the current rate. So the government will apply the rate on all applicable transactions. Yeah. So if we look at the example, say if you say you send 50 cedis to your mother in the morning and you send 50 cedis to your father in the evening, you do not get taxed. But the fees apply, on any other payment after this threshold. So if you send 50 here, 50 there, you do not get taxed. It's below the 100 cedis. But any other payment after that is when you, the originator, gets taxed. So the Right Reverend needs to know how it works. But if it just blanketly says that, the E-Levy is this or the E-Levy is that, that means that he doesn't really know how the tax system works as far as the E-Levy is concerned.
Parliament 137 and na wo honom say MPP for say baby a yegina no ho an yegina NDC for so say ye mpene na empene cha say kura de 1% na ka omo say enye no krampo omo say kura de say 11 no krampo de omo ntwam kura papa we
for na say ntwam
NDC for say ye ntwam kura na mwa Ghana for if say tememfo esu say mobile money vendors omo ye mobile money ni ade no omo kra mo say na watwe ebesimu ye mre kakra wo ye ni mu omba be cause strike be demonstration was sad because enu ti amanipa bebre withdraw omusika efi mobile money nti enu DC4 so points omuso mu ginigina so ni do you think forecast NDC4 is just doing that just to sabotage the government? Do you think say they are doing that out of their own interest and now say they are really fighting for Ghanaians?
Yo me da sepam say we ase nokre ba kope
All right.
Ubetwa atoro no ahurihuri na kanokre na gina faako.
All right.
So ata say ade a NDC4 ka no me metu me ni party bia
Okay.
me party a me wo no ene Yesu party.
Amen.
Cause our party nyina ne bia beba atwam beto Onyankopon ko ne party ye Jesus party ni de entwamu da. So ntino de NDC4 e ka no me ne omo ya adwene.
Okay.
Nyasa me support wo mu but me ne omo ya adwene de me
The Reverend is not part of any party, but it supports or is in agreement with the opposition or the minority for the rejection of E-Levy. Yeah, and his reasons to me does not add up, because what does the E-Levy does? My issue is that he's not in favor of the E-Levy. For the government to get its agendas or projects online, but he's okay with these same people paying and buying oils and stuff from his church. So to me, that's hypocrisy. So let's look at what the E-Levy stands for. What will the revenue generated by the E-Levy be used for? The monies will be used to support government initiatives such as youth employment and entrepreneurship, roads and digital infrastructure and security. So basically, most of the children or young adults that are roaming the streets, selling trinkets and carrying buffaloes on the streets, all this E-Levy is going to help reduce unemployment and low-waged trade and get them into vocational settings as well. So for him to say that he does not, or he supports the minority to reject the E-Levy, then to me that's not here or there, because you need to explain why you reject it. Is it because it's not going to help the youth? Is it because it's not going to help you as a reverend? The money coming into your pot will be going to the government to help the youth projects. That's exactly what I need to know, because that's not really adding up for me. Well, the policy is definitely going to come on 1st January 2022, and this is to provide enough lead time for the industry players to adjust and configure their systems to implement this policy. So I believe that it will be passed into law, and this will help government see its initiative come to bear.
because me hunu sentia mobile man here for mobile no petrol mo betete so one village one dime yɛbɛyɛ wei ne nyinaa no me feel sɛ ɛberɛ na anya nsoyɛ a mu nya nyɛɛyɛ so ate aseɛ ɔma yɛ bi ha okay me no nneɛma bi wɔ ha yana me nhyɛ da nni ho time ɛti no ɔma yɛ bi so
I'm a little bit disappointed with the Reverend. I like him a lot, but for him to talk about petrol price reduction and it didn't come through. I mean, you should look at the global situation we're in. We're in a pandemic era, and most countries, even America, Britain, and most other countries are struggling with petrol prices. So it's not just Ghana that the prices are fluctuating. It's everywhere. I mean, take Nigeria, for instance. Nigeria hasn't got electricity in most places, and people use generator to generate their, to get electricity. And those generators run out of petrol. They need to go out in the queue with cars to try and get petrol. They queue up, the generators queue up with cars to go and get petrol. And yet we in Ghana, and we should be grateful that even at least we get petrol. It's gone up a bit, just like everywhere in the world. It's not just Ghana that the petrol prices are sky high. We're even lucky to have get petrol in the first place. We need to be grateful. We're just being inclusive, and we're just looking inwardly into ourselves, our own personal lives. That's selfishness as far as I'm concerned, rather than looking at the global situation, why the government have to put up prices. They don't just go in there and just siphon the petrol and just come and dump it there for you to use or for us to buy. They need to look at the world market. They need to look at OPEC. They need to look at the American market. Look at how stocks are, the reduction and everything, and then put prices to it. So we need to be patient and hope that the whole global world, come out of this pandemic and get back to where we're supposed to be. Secondly, he talked about one village, one dam. None of that is working. Well, I mean, I'm so happy that the presenter, put him in line that the government is working on it, because if he knows, he did confess that he doesn't follow what's happening, even though, just like him, a lot of people just talk just for the sake of talking, that the government haven't done this and the government haven't done that, yet they haven't read anything, they haven't researched anything what the government's doing. They just talk simply because there are people on social media making the same noise, propagating that the government hasn't done anything. Yet he doesn't know that most of the small dams, cultivating farms in the northern part of Ghana are irrigations that were put up just in the last few years, under the one village, one dam scheme. So before we actually open our mouth, we need to know what is going on with the government initiatives. It's all well and good pulling a camera in front of you and then just lambasting the government for this and that, but you need to do your research to know what's being implemented or what's not.
nneɛma bi wɔ ha ɛkɔ so a mehu no sɛ ɛfiri ahyɛseɛ no ɔn sɛ Ghana ɛyɛ Kristofoɔ man, but yɛwɔ nwom bi ɛwɔ Ghana, yɛne yɛasase ni ɛyɛ aboɔ denden ma yɛn mogya ana yɛ nananom ɛde tɔɔ asase no, na asase bi a yɛmfa Yesu mogya ɛne tɔ asase no, ne yɛde yɛ nananom mogya, abosom mogya, mmirekyire mogya, ɛntwen mogya, yɛde tɔɔ saa asase no, na kyerɛ sɛ saa asase no is under curse. So eti Ghana na nkasa no yɛwɔ nnome ase. As yɛma yɛn ho kwan sɛ Nyame medi hene wɔ ɔman no mu a nneɛma bebree bɛtumi asesa.
Once again, I really don't know where, Yen Araya Sassini, the song, could be a curse on Ghana. I do not believe we cursed one bit. There are tens of thousands of countries that are worse off than us. This year alone, we've become the 8th largest economy in Africa. How can we be cursed? Secondly, we are not a third world country anymore. We are a middle income country. How can we be cursed? it's very, very, very disheartening that we talk this way. Oh, Ghana is like this. Oh, why is Ghana so hard? Why is Ghana this and that? Have we compared ourselves to our compatriots around, like even West Africa alone? If you take West Africa, apart from Nigeria, which is the largest economy in the whole of Africa, Ghana is next in West Africa. We're the second largest economy in West Africa. So we need to put things in perspective rather than talking out of emotions. You know, we're literally talking with our hearts rather than our heads. And you need to use both. You know, the songs that applies to us, Yanayasasini means that the land that we safeguarding, which our forefathers left for us, belongs to us. This is our land. And whatever blood they left, if you tell me that because of the blood, then we might as well change our names, Kofi, Kwame, Kwesi, because all of that is coming from the old worships. You know, Akweside, you know, Akwesi, Kwesieda, Miminda, you know, all of these are all idols. So we might as well change everything, even the way we bury our dead. Our whole culture needs to be changed. If you're going to base on this song that we're cursed, then Ghana needs to change its whole culture. Then our whole culture is cursed. Why don't you go to Asante in his palace and tell him that all his traditional things that he does is cursed? He's cursing Asante Man. And yet Asante Man actually has one of the largest resources in that holds this country together. And yet you're telling us that it's cursed. I'm not in agreement with that.
Tu kwan bebree akọ man bebree so. Mefa nsa me last akwantu okura me tu ya me ntu kwan biem South Africa. Okay. South Africa, the way o masiesie kuro no pa fa baabi no. Wontime mfa US and London no mo kran compare ho. Wow. Baabi o ha South Africa wusi ho anajo a. Obeka sa ade ache. Because of niema bi o maye ho no. Chase obenhu no se obeka sa ade ache. But oba Ghana ha every day bia no. Chase niema saya na say and shada.
Yeah. I know Ghana is hard, and the Right Reverend did mention that things are getting from bad to worse. Yeah, economically it's not too good because money is not being siphoned into people's pockets like before. And also we're in a pandemic, so it's going to be difficult. But to compare Ghana to South Africa is a little bit unfair. I mean, let's be realistic. The South African apartheid regime was being run from Great Britain. So South Africa was an extension of Holland and Britain, which are first world countries. That's the reason why South Africa is what it is today. It's been built for almost 100 years. We actually came out of the shackles of colonialism in 1957, and we're trying to fight our feet because the socialists decided not to wait for us to be taught democracy properly, but they wanted freedom now. So we didn't actually learn from the colonials how democracy works properly and how to govern, the new independence that we've had, like putting tribes together to actually come together as a country. Because let's be honest, it's a bunch of tribes that has become a country. So we needed to learn how to manage ourselves, which we weren't given the opportunity by the socialists who were ruling this country. Even though the system was against us. So we can't really compare ourselves to South Africa. Most of the industries in South Africa were actually brought in there by British government and American government, American corporations and British corporations. It's only this government that is trying to bring in companies to come and start creating jobs. Because let's be honest, government does not create jobs. It's businesses that create jobs. So if this present government does not invite businesses to come and create jobs, we will not be able to, move up the scale that we need to. So we can't compare ourselves to South Africa because that place is just an extension of Europe. If we go to certain parts of South Africa, yes, it's even better than Britain or Ireland or Scotland or whatever. But let's be honest, most of the companies belong to those people out there in Europe. Like, for instance, the Barclays Bank in South Africa was partly owned by Margaret Thatcher and her family, whereas the Barclays Bank in Britain is just a subsidiary of another company. There's no comparison. You can't compare both. And you can't say, because South Africa is this, Ghana should be that. No. There are stages to development. So let's put things into perspective.
Na say mo sofo bi ebekan mempe abodian keka ntimi mbo ne din pasensen bi ode betu dwa e che say mo se binyame adifo asofofo a mo tonton ensuo ene ojewo ene enema ewo mo programs ase ene ade no mo nyina se be mo mfinyame ena also no munjai na mo kopa adwuma pa bi enye efise no enye adwuma papa sasem no no kra be na wo mu o response ne say wo because me buy me who say wo oil any ade e wa hanu madam is o de ya kwantwe any ade nti e de na be kan pasasa
me ra asepa em say de di kan no asem no mate
okay
ana asofo bebre nso abomamane but me life mu no me bone a me tomu sine no me megina bonten emfa nyi obi aten ana me mfo mebo obi akutia one tears a bonnia me tomu sene no
okay bonnia wo ye bi no ha
me ye bi
no okay
me megina bonten emfa nyi obi aten
does it mean no so ton obi ana
oh dia me pesa me kire se wiase be nim ne wura
okay
dia me pesa me kire ne se so oya no eyeye nyina na ye ton
okay
sabi me ni factory a omoye oil okay bible so bible so de makwa yamfa makwa oye no so mekotoy me de ama obi kwa
ntemu ne we na so mo fa makwa
oh bible no kura ya wose yamfa makwa no bible no kura bible kura okotoy ana ye de chewo
papa metoy
dabi kan ye o kasa mentini ye mpese obi ate won kasa wona kasa metoy yamfa nche bible ne wo mu no so de ma ye kwa yenso yamfa makwa no bible na kasa okotoy so atase na se nyame aya dom na se nyame ema big platform so atase yankosai de ye obi ye abra de kro na nkasa mu wa mu nso wote ho no uye bi dada so se sofo obi a oton oye no oye kromfo obi wa ha statement bi wa ha oma na statement na nkasa mu ono amu onhye dante ase sofo obi a oton oye ye kromfo one yakasa obi ye kromfo a kromfo ne sen se ayese mefanse ofun yi eda won nchen so atase na bi a wo sore na bi a wurafi na mafafon no ede asie ana mafafon no bi a makoton eno no kyese mabokro no so atase ne yakasa obi ye kromfo a obi ton na ade a na nche so ye kromfo so eti no me no
no na asani awofa kwati kwan so achinchini panesa ajesika bi afinisem ebia no afo sa oyo no enye adwuma na nso moton nti kwan bi so wafa kwati kwan so
oyo no ye ne na na eton ye ne na na eton ono wo ton bi men so meton bi.
Well, I'm just wrapping it up now, but I just thought that this last bit was a little bit funny and interesting. I mean, the lady asked him about his oil that he sells, whether he's actually stealing money from his congregation, and that was a little bit funny. You're telling the government not to collect taxes, but you are selling oil to your parishioners that is not actually working. That's a little bit strange. Anyway, we're gonna go to the comment sections and see what people have written. So let's do this. Okay, the last bit, we're wrapping it up now. Well, as you heard, the lady asked him about his oil, which I think was quite funny. It's okay for him to sell his oils to his parishioners and other pastors, but it's not okay for the government to collect taxes to, help the well-being of the youth. Quite ironic, isn't it? Okay. If you'd like to subscribe, do so. This is the conservatism in Ghana. Ghana conservatism. We are a group that believe in conservatism. We're not necessarily based on party, but idealism. So if you want to join us, you can send me an email at nyakon_kofi@yahoo.co.uk. Yeah, nyakon_kofi@yahoo.co.uk. Thank you. Subscribe whilst we bring you more information. Bye.